You just received a request from your title company asking you to photograph your driver's license and take a selfie. Is it legitimate? Why do they need it? What happens to your information after you submit it? If you're selling real estate, identity verification may be one of the most important and most unfamiliar steps in your closing. Today, I'll walk you through the entire process, explain the technology behind it, and show you how to complete it safely. Hi, I'm Caitlin with Legacy Title Agency, and here at Legacy, we use identity verification in most transactions because protecting your property and proceeds is an important part of providing excellent service. The exact process, screen layouts, or questions in your ID verification may vary depending on the transaction and the software used, but the overall process is usually quick and can often be completed from your smartphone 24/7 in under 5 minutes. Let's walk through what to expect. Why might sellers be asked to verify their identity? For years, title companies commonly verified a seller's identity by visually inspecting a driver's license at the closing table. The problem is that today, sophisticated counterfeit and fraudulently obtained IDs can be difficult to recognize through visual inspection alone. Imagine someone arrives at closing and says she's Sarah Brown. She presents a driver's license bearing Sarah Brown's name and her own photograph. But is she really Sarah Brown, or is she Jane Doe using a convincing fake ID? A person attempting fraud may know information about the property, have access to stolen personal details, and present an ID that appears legitimate. Modern identity verification adds another layer of review. It can help evaluate both the ID documentation and whether the person presenting it appears to be the rightful owner. No verification method can prevent every fraud attempt, but using multiple layers can make an impersonation really difficult. Let's talk about step 1. Confirm that the request is legitimate. Before clicking any identity verification links, confirm that the request actually came from Legacy Title or another trusted party involved in your closing. At Legacy, sensitive information should be submitted through the designated secure process, not through an unexpected email or ordinary text message. Check the sender and make sure the request relates to your actual transaction. If anything looks unusual, stop and call Legacy Title using a telephone number you already trust. Do not rely solely on the contact information included in a suspicious message. This first step matters because criminals sometimes imitate legitimate companies to trick people into submitting personal information. Once you've confirmed the request, you're ready to begin. So now we're on to step 2. Prepare your phone and ID before starting. Gather the requested government-issued photo ID. This is usually a driver's license or maybe a passport. This will commonly be some sort of state-issued identification that the system is going to accept. Check that the identification is current and other information is easy for you to access. You will also want a smartphone with a working camera, a reliable internet connection, good lighting, and a plain background behind you. A few uninterrupted minutes will also be needed. So remove the ID from your wallet or plastic sleeve, make sure there's no glare, and clean your phone's camera lens if the image starts to look blurry. These small steps can help prevent delays or repeated attempts. So now we can move on to step 3. Open the secure verification. After opening the verified link, you may be asked to confirm basic information, review disclosures, or consent to the use of the technology involved in the verification process. Read the instructions carefully instead of clicking through automatically. The system may request permission to use your phone's camera. That permission allows it to capture your identification and a live image of you. You should not normally need to email photographs of your identification separately if the secure verification process is working correctly. If you're uncertain about any request, pause and contact Legacy before continuing. So now we can move on to step 4. We're going to actually capture your identification. So next, the system will guide you through photographing your ID. For a driver's license or state ID, you may be asked to capture both the front and the back. Place the ID on a flat, contrasting surface and make sure all 4 corners of that ID are visible. Avoid shadows, glare, fingers, or covering up the card, or information extending outside the frame. This is more than simply taking a picture. Depending on the verification technology being used, the system may actually examine the information printed on the ID, the barcode, or other encoded data. The document's expected format and security features, signs of alteration or image manipulation, whether the name, photograph, and other details are consistent. Some systems may also compare submitted information with reliable databases or other transaction information. This gives the title company more information than a quick visual inspection at the closing table. So now we can move on to step 5. We're going to complete the selfie, or what's sometimes called a liveness check. You may then be asked to take a selfie or complete a short liveness check. The system may ask you to center your face, move your head, look in certain directions, or follow a number of simple prompts. Why? A photograph of an ID may help evaluate the document, but it does not necessarily prove that the rightful owner is holding it. Facial comparison technology can compare the live image with the photograph on the identification. Liveness technology is designed to help determine whether a real person is completing the process instead of someone using a printed photograph, pre-recorded video, or another form of impersonation such as AI. For the best result, remove your sunglasses or anything covering your face, stand in good lighting, and follow the prompts exactly as displayed. Okay, now we're on to step 6. Submit and wait for review. Once you submit the verification, the technology evaluates the information and generates a result. A successful verification does not mean that the system is declaring the entire transaction fraud-free. It means the information completed the provider's verification checks. If the system cannot confirm something, that also does not automatically mean fraud has occurred. There may be an innocent explanation, including an expired or damaged ID, poor lighting or glare, a blurry photograph, a recent name or address change, a significant change in appearance, difficulty completing the technology, information that does not match available records. Legacy may contact you for clarification or use another reasonable method to review your identity. So how is your information protected? Well, it's completely reasonable to ask what happens to your information. At Legacy, we use designated secure technology for sensitive information because ordinary email was not designed to be a secure storage system, especially not for driver's licenses, social security numbers, banking information, or other private data. Our secure client platform, Qualia Connect, uses encrypted transmission and storage protections, along with monitoring and other security controls. When a separate identity verification provider is involved, its technology and privacy practices may also apply. Access to information should always be limited to the people and systems involved in processing and protecting the transaction. However, no online system can honestly promise zero risk. That is why security also depends on your actions. Never send your ID to an unverified email address. Never complete a request that you were not expecting without confirming it. Make sure to use a secure internet connection. Protect your account credentials and always contact Legacy if anything seems unusual. Technology works best when it's combined with careful communication and human review. Seller identity verification generally takes only a few minutes, but it can provide an important additional layer of protection for your property, your process, your proceeds, and everyone relying on the transaction. At Legacy Title Agency, we believe top-level service includes more than preparing documents and scheduling a convenient closing. It means using modern tools, secure communication, and personal attention to help protect the integrity of your transaction. If you receive an ID verification request from Legacy and need help completing it, contact our team. We will help you understand the process and determine the appropriate next step. Subscribe for more straightforward explanations about title insurance, fraud prevention, and Michigan real estate closings.